Hi folks, welcome to this video on essay structures for the Ielts and Toefl. This video is also useful for folks who are taking the Cambridge exams or any other kind of test with an essay section. We're going to talk about different structures and how to punctuate around those structures. Okay, so let's start with coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are connectors that connect two equal clauses. A clause is basically just a complete idea. Okay, so a sentence, a normal sentence is a clause, but we can have more than one clause in a sentence, more than one idea in a sentence. And coordinating conjunctions connect two equal clauses. The most common coordinating conjunctions are and but. Also, so is very common, and or is also very common. Okay, and we can remember them using fanboys: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So I've got two examples on the screen using but and. So let's look at the first example. He's been nominated several times, but he's never won. We use comma and then but, the coordinating conjunction, comma and then but. Okay, let's look at the second example. I really enjoyed meeting them, comma, and they said they would be happy to have us over for dinner. Again, we use comma and then the coordinating conjunction, which is and. Now the other ones work the same. Just remember, for example, in this case, we use yet. Yet can be a coordinating conjunction that means something like but it can also have another meaning, right? Like, I'm not finished with my homework yet, let's say, for example. So can also have different meanings. So we're just talking about how to use them as coordinating conjunctions in this case. Right? So the main ones that we're focusing on here are and but, and then or and so are also very common. Let's look at the next. Let's look at the next type of connecting structure: subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions also connect two clauses, but they're not equal. And the way that you know that you're dealing with a subordinating conjunction is that we can use it at the beginning of a sentence or in the middle of a sentence. So, for example, and but, normally we use them only in the middle of a sentence, but subordinating conjunctions can be used at the beginning of a sentence as well. It's the same idea. We can just start the sentence with the subordinating conjunction. So there's an example here. Because I got up early, I was able to see the comet. Okay, if we put because in the middle of the sentence, now we start the sentence with the second clause. I was able to see the comet because I got up early. We just change the order of the clauses. Okay, now notice that the first example uses a comma and the second example doesn't. Okay, so that's one example. We don't use commas with subordinating conjunctions unless we're starting the sentence. There are a few other, there's another exception, but we won't talk about that right now. We maybe talk about that in another video where we talk about these conjunctions a little bit in a little bit more detail. Look at the last example. The last example shows you why we can't use and at the beginning of the sentence. If I say, I saw the movie, period, and it was great, the word and refers to the second. The word and refers to the first sentence. It's adding something to the first sentence. Okay? Whereas because is referring to, since it's a subordinating conjunction, is referring to the sentence itself. That's kind of the difference between a subordinating conjunction and subordinating conjunction and a coordinating conjunction, because the subordinating conjunction connects two clauses that are not equal. One clause is the main clause, and the other clause is the subordinate clause, meaning it's not as important as the main clause. And then you can see some other examples of subordinating conjunctions. We have since, which in this case means as a subordinating conjunction, it means the same as because. And then we have if, when, and once, which mean kind of the same thing as the same. They kind of all mean the same thing. And then whereas and while, which are used as their words of contrast, right? Kind of like their contrast words, like although and even though also are contrast words. As can also be used as because, used as a word as a synonym of because. This is a little bit more common in British usage than in American usage. Okay, so let's go on to the last type of connector that we're going to talk about, which are conjunctive adverbs. So conjunctive adverbs also connect to clauses. Actually, they could probably connect more than two, but the point is they connect two sentences with a period. Okay, so we're going to say let's take a look at the examples first, and then we'll run through the different types. We have had several problems. Period. However, comma, I'm confident we will solve them. So in this case, we combined the two ideas using a period, and then the conjunctive adverb, and then comma. All right. So however is kind of the classic example of this. We could have used but, right? But then we would have combined the two into one sentence. We could have said, we have had several problems, comma, but I'm confident we will solve them. So however is kind of like but. Let's look at the next sentence. The hotel has a pool, period. In addition, comma, guests also have access to a fitness club. We could have used and. We could have said, the hotel has a pool, comma, and guests also have access to a fitness club. It's kind of the same idea, but this gives us some options, right? When you're writing an essay, you need to have a lot of different options to use. You don't want to use the same structures over and over and over again. So here are some examples that you can use. However kind of means something similar to the on the other hand. Also nonetheless and nevertheless are also contrast words. It's a little bit different. I'll make another video where I get into the specifics of that. Now the other ones are used to add information. They're kind of synonyms of and. Likewise, what's more. That one's a little bit more common in British usage. What is more? What's more? In addition, furthermore, also, in fact. Okay, all of these are the same. You put period, in addition, comma, period, in fact, comma. Now one that isn't mentioned here, I forgot to put it up, is moreover. That one's very important. It means the same as furthermore. So furthermore and moreover are both very common in this kind of writing. Okay, so one more type, which is prepositions. So prepositions are used with nouns. They're a little bit different from the other ones that we've talked about before, because they don't connect two complete clauses, but they connect two ideas. One main clause, and then one, I guess you can say it's a noun phrase. Okay, so we're going to say, for example, let's look at an example. Due to inclement weather, comma, classes will be canceled tomorrow. Inclement weather means bad weather. So due to is kind of like because of. All right. So because of inclement weather, comma, classes will be canceled tomorrow. It means the same thing. Now in that case, we only have a noun, weather. Okay, we don't have a complete sentence. We didn't say due to or we didn't say because the weather is bad, classes will be canceled tomorrow. We said due to inclement weather. We just used a noun. We didn't use a complete idea. So that's how we use these. Due to means the same as because of. I didn't put because of on there, but I could have put because of. Okay, and thanks to means something very